Greetings, this is Robin's Book Club, episode 65, and this week something very special indeed. It's London Street Chronicles by Mr. G's. This video came about because Mr. G's had seen some of my book reviews on YouTube and contacted me, sent me an email, including a PDF of this book, and when I saw the work I just thought, wow, this is so great, it's really, really good. Perhaps Mr. G's would like to collaborate on a video. He said yes, sent me a copy of the book, which was really nice of him, and I just loved the book and was so pleased to find out more about him and his work. So I sent him a whole bunch of questions, asking him about the book, his approach to photography, and here is everything you could possibly want to know about Mr. G's and this amazing work. And if you'd like to find out how to get a copy of the book, all of the details are in the description of this video.
Hello everybody, I would like to thank Robin for the opportunity to share my work. I am Gerald Marinelli, aka Mr. G's. I am a visual artist, mainly focused on street and documentary photography, as well as experimenting with mixed media. I am from the Caribbean, from a French island called Martinique, and I've been living in London for the last 15 years. So to be honest, I did not choose photography. I would say that photography chose me. I never cared about it when I was a kid or a teenager, and it started from a dark place. So when my mother passed away about 12 years ago, it was quite sudden. We didn't expect it, and for reasons that I won't get into, her coffin had to be closed for the wake before the funeral, and my dad did ask me to find a photograph of her to print and frame so people could show their respect. It took me a long time to find a picture that was capturing her beauty and her personality. And when I did find that picture, something happened. Something happened that day. And from a dark place, I found light. And I do consider that photography is a gift from my mother. This book came out organically, I would say. After spending a lot of time shooting in the streets, I ended up with a substantial body of work. And I remember during COVID, I don't remember which lockdown it was, but it was in December 2020. I've done a virtual exhibition and I had some very good feedback. So I decided that, after COVID, I would definitely work towards exhibitions and books to present and expose my work. I think it's a way to give back as well, give back to the people, but give back to the city. And I've been looking at so many photo books to be inspired and to learn, from the greats. I don't know. I felt maybe it's a bit presumptuous of me, but I felt like it was time to delve into it and maybe try to do it myself. I was an assistant at a photography class for a bit less than 2 years at the Crisis Charity, which is helping people to get out from homelessness. And their art department was key to provide, well-being alongside the help given to find accommodation and jobs. What stayed with me after those 2 years is that one, you learn from your students as much as you teach them. I didn't expect that. I thought I would learn from the teacher, being the assistant, and then I would teach the students. But that's not what happened. I learned a lot from the teacher and from the students. They were all coming from different, walk of lives. And I learned a lot from them in terms of photography, but also life in general. The second thing that stayed with me is that consistency and routine are key to build a body of work. Basically, when we were doing the photography class, we had a routine. We would always go through different phases. So the first phase would be to talk about the technicalities, how exposure work, and how to use the camera, all the basics, but repeating the foundation every week. And then the second phase would be we go in the street and we take photos. And when you take photos, you give advices, you just, try to improve every time. And then when we were going back to the lab, the third phase would be to edit the photos straight away and to print some. And that stayed with me. I still work like this, after doing it every week for 2 years. That stayed with me, and I think that's the foundation of my practice. In terms of gears, I keep it very simple. A Fuji X100V is my WME, weapon of mass enjoyment, that's how I call it. And it comes with a fixed lens. It's equivalent to a 35mm in full frame size. And I'm in love with it. Like, I love the ergonomics, I just deal with buttons to deal with my exposure in manual mode. I don't mess around with screens and menus. I do shoot film for specific projects, especially when I travel. If I go in the Caribbean or elsewhere, depending on the project that I'm working on, I might shoot film. That's it. But in London, I mainly shoot digital. And I developed the photos with an analog process called palladium. So I'm still learning, and it's a steep curve to learn. But I'm really enjoying it. I enjoy that process to, start digital and finish with an analog print. I enjoy it because it's mixing the benefits of the, today's technology and embracing the charm, of the old alternative processes to produce a beautiful print. So that's where I am with my gears and my practice. In the book, I say that like a theater director, I place characters and props on stage in a fraction of a second without rehearsal. I really do feel that way. I believe that real life is a lot richer than fiction. In both cases, you start from ideas leading to narratives and stories. But in the case of fiction, those stories are limited to the director's output, even if they can be extended by the audience interpretation, right? But in real life, you don't have those limitations. And when you walk in the streets to take pictures, to capture something, you cross many stories embedded in people and objects. And it's an amazing game to cherry pick what you want from all this and create a new story with an image. I just find it magical. Although at the end of the book I did write a thank you for those stolen moments, I don't think that I'm stealing anything. I guess that I'm just putting an emphasis on everyday moments that I consider special. I think that life is winking at us all the time, and I'm just, trying to catch a few winks. That's all I'm doing. I'm not stealing anything. I don't have a problem with maintaining the momentum or the creative impulse. It's more like the opposite for me, how to shut it down. I have to really pace myself and learn how to be patient. I feel very driven creatively. The fire inside is burning really hard. But I have to juggle with my responsibilities and find the best way to fit my artistic practice in my schedule. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a professional, I'm a freelance IT engineer on the side. And I don't have the luxury to not being inspired. When I have time for my heart, the juices are already flowing. My best advice for people wanting to self-publish a book is to not underestimate the task. I was very naive when I started, and there is a steep learning curve. Between the sequencing of the images, the narrative of the book, the test to find a good book printing company, the organization for a book launch, the distribution and the marketing to gain exposure, it is definitely not for the faint-hearted. I'm still learning. It's still a learning process for me. My main advice is learn a maximum, ask questions, find a mentor if you can, and never ever give up. Keep going. I mean, shooting and building a body of work is already hard. But then, trying to present it in different ways, a book, exhibitions, it's another ball game. And in every case, you need hard work, dedication, and just do not give up. Just go for it. What is next? In terms of photography, I will carry on the London Street Chronicles series. That book that came out in June is volume 1, and I'm currently working on volume 2. There will be 4 volumes in that series. So that's for the photography. In the meantime, I'm also exploring mixed media. I've done a project with mixed media where I'm mixing photography with, digital art based on coding. So I use coding to do some data visualization that I mixed with photography. So it's a different approach. You need more research, more experimentation, and yeah, I don't really have like a model I can follow, so it's 100% exploration. I'm trying to make things that I've not seen before. So yeah, that's different.
So, Street Photography from London, London Street Chronicles, Inner Child Playground, Volume 1, Photography by Mr. G's. I love this book. I'm so grateful to him for reaching out and to sort of working together on this video. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. A different format. I love this format. This would be something I'd be very happy to do again in the future. So, you know, maybe we can do more of this as time goes on. But if you want to check out the book, all of the details are in the description of the video below, and all of Mr. G's contact details and all of that are in there as well. So go and check that out and support him and his work. What a guy.